That's where we wanted to
Maybe we
put
can
it
make
in.
this really short.
Oh, a new section.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Yay!
Judith.
Sorry.
I just excused you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, it's 6:30, January 29th, 2026. This is the meeting of the Harwich Charter Commission. Call to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we have on our docket, first up is the discussion of a possible vision statement, which I assume goes to Lou.
Yeah, I sent out my thoughts on it, and it pretty well lays it out in terms of the most positive way you can look at a vision statement if it's accurately used. Centralized accountability, ensures strategic alignment, promotes coordinated decision-making, supports transparency, encourages long-term thinking. What all that means is basically the selectmen, who are the executive board.
Notice I'm not correcting you.
Well, okay, I'm just being very, well, yeah, but I'm already gun shy.
You said select women, it would cover both women and men, you know?
It's like, I get that.
Right.
I get so confused, I don't know if I'm coming or going on that.
Okay, keep going.
Anyhow,
Keep going.
the select board is the executive branch. An executive sets long-term strategic vision. A tool to set long-term strategic vision, if it's done correctly, is a vision statement. The vision statement basically are guardrails in many ways in terms of how people think, so that you always have something to say, well, does this really meet what the town wants? Because the select board has put this in place, and you can gauge it just by that. It gets everybody driving in one direction, whether it's committee members, committees, or town employees. And it keeps the select board in line with what their thinking is, and it fosters, best of all, long-term planning. That's as much as positives I can give you on it. I can probably give you all the negatives too. But I won't, I'll leave that up to others. If anybody has any problem with what I wrote, let's talk about it. See where we go.
Who would like to talk first?
I want to bring it back up on screen. So.
I mean, I can go real quickly if you want.
Sure.
So when I took a look at other towns, vision statements and mission statements, trying to figure out the language between the two, what I came up with is that a vision statement details where the town aspires to go. And then the mission statement defines the organization's objectives and then how it's going to reach those objectives. But in either case, both, and I always thought this, from even when I would do a mission statements for a business plan, it's really 3 to 4 sentences, very concise and clear language. So, for example, I'll use Brewster because it's close to home. It starts out, Brewster's a seaside community, blah, 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 but at the very end of their vision statement, it says, to create a welcoming place for people of all ages to work, live, learn, create, and gather. So that is really talking to what's aspiring. And then as far as the mission statement, this one's a little bit simpler. This is really only one, really long sentence. To provide excellent public service, responsive government and infrastructure for health, safety, recreation, and economic opportunities. And then that's the objectives. And then how are you going to do that? Through financially and environmentally substantial practices and integrated public engagement.
Now, do those appear in their charters?
No, this is just talking what a vision statement,
Yep.
I believe, is and what a mission statement is. As far as drafting something that goes into the charter, I don't.
No, it does not.
Yeah, it wouldn't. But
No.
But it would go back to the code of
We
conduct.
already have.
Can I finish?
Yep,
I'm almost
go
there. So back to the code of conduct that we talked about last week. We can even do something very similar to where the select board shall create and approve a mission statement, which shall be placed where? Maybe on the town website. Both statements are to be revised as or when all local plans are updated and renewed. So as the Harwich production plan changes, local comprehensive plan changes, all these plans change, it will be up to the select board to potentially rewrite that.
Yeah,
Now, you're looking at it as more as a, to govern
no.
and hold, let me
Well,
finish,
Yeah,
and hold accountability for the
Yep.
select board. I see it just completely different. Unless someone thinks something different about my take on a vision and a mission.
no, I don't have any take on the vision. I'm fine with it, anything.
Yeah.
Where I do have an issue is if we bury it, so we already have a vision statement. It's already there. We don't have to discuss whether we want a vision statement. It's in the comprehensive plan.
Mhm.
The idea is to take it out of the comprehensive plan, give it to the selectmen executives to say, this is where we're going to go. We're going to write this, and we've been elected to do this. It maybe lasts for 5 years, 8 years, whatever, but they can renew it whenever they want. The way it's being done now is people who wrote the comprehensive plan have given us a vision statement. They've determined for the town what it's going to be rather than the elected officials that we elect. That tell
Well,
us-
but the select board can easily just ask them to do that for them, and they can approve it.
Absolutely.
And then it goes to town meeting, gets approved by everybody.
When you put it in the charter, you've upgraded it. When you've separated it, you've made it very important. You take it out, code of conduct doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
That was just an
Vision is,
example.
yeah, vision statement is, and I'll end. That's, again, my points were made. I'm not going to argue.
Oh, hold on, I want clarity. Do you like a vision statement or a mission statement? Which one do you want to do?
I
One
think
aspires and one has objectives and solutions.
Vision statement.
You want the vision, what is, the
Here's-
aspires?
Yeah,
Okay.
to be practical, okay, a selectman would go in and say, I want to, we need to really bear down on housing in this town and get something done.
Okay,
That's a vision.
all right, Paul?
Yeah, Paul.
My point, I guess, just a concern here is, I'm not following it in that the language in the charter, I think, should either state, we'll have a vision statement and who will prepare it and how it will be approved or whatever.
Right.
That's it. We don't need to get into the text, the language, whether we
Correct.
should
That's what I'm
include this
saying,
or
yeah.
that. Let that be developed by either a committee appointed by the selectmen to be approved by the board, to be given to the town meeting. I think we should establish maybe the process that it gets, to get it approved. But I think we're wasting our time trying to pass the text of the vision
Yeah.
statement.
I agree.
Do we want to have a vision statement? I would say that we do want to have the town establish a vision statement, and I think putting it in the charter is appropriate.
Yeah.
But that's, beyond that, I don't see any need to get into the
Is
text.
that what you were going for?
Yeah.
That's, okay. That's what I
Richard, do you
thought.
have any thoughts?
I would like to see what the proposal would be for the charter and doing it. What the time frame is, how long it lasts, because as we know, a select board changes every year. 2 new seats are up this year, 2 new members will come on, 2 members were there last year. So it continually changes, and frankly, what happens is the opinions of those who sit become the vision. And that's what concerns me. So local comprehensive plan, 2 years, $250,000, and it has been endorsed now by the select board and it goes to the town. There's a vision in there. Somewhere else, I believe there's another vision somewhere in town that's out there. I have concerns, and how we put it in the charter, we have to be very, very careful. How often it changes, how often it lives.
Well, don't you think that, but if we said in the charter that the town shall have a vision statement established by the Board of Selectmen, approved periodically by the town meeting as appropriate or whatever, and maybe even state in that, which I think makes sense, that it would be reviewed or updated or whatever as need be, but that to me addresses. So these guys come up with a vision statement there, this group comes up with a vision statement, but if we have one established in the charter that says the select board, now the select board may say, I like what's stated right here, so let's adopt the vision statement for the next ensuing period that is stated here in the comprehensive plan. But if over time that needs to be adjusted, then a future select board can do that. I think at least hinting that once established, it's subject to periodic review.
Yeah, and that's my point of putting something in the charter, periodic review. What does periodic mean?
What was it?
Not less than every 5 years.
Well, that's why I said it should run in concert with as the plans get updated.
Right.
So, for example, we have a housing production plan, and it's supposed to be every 5 years. And so 5 years from now, that's going to change. There could be a new mission altogether with all the housing we're creating, and that would be a time to readdress that. It's really just, if we're doing the vision statement, it's just something we're aspiring to. It's not really, it's just an overall blanket statement. It's
Aspirational.
It's just
It
an
is
aspiration. That's all it really. That's why I wanted to define it first, and then to everything Paul said is I thought it's kind of what I was trying to get to. Just keep it as simple as possible. The select board shall create and approve a vision and mission statement, which shall be placed wherever we want it to be, whether it be on the website or not. And both statements are to be revised, and we can define that, just like we did the code of conduct in that 2-sentence blurb. Very simple.
If you are to have one, I don't think it should be subject to approval of town meeting.
That would-
Approval of
I
town
mean,
meeting.
just to reinforce something.
Well, I think the approval of town meeting, I think you've got the approval of the voters for the 5 people who are writing this.
Yeah, it just stays
Very
with the
possible.
select board, I would think.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
executives.
Yeah.
I would add
Simple.
one thing to what you're proposing there.
Good.
I would add that some kind of language that says that we don't want it to be in the background. We want a vision statement that is actually being utilized, that is being focused to.
I don't know how you enforce that.
I don't know
So-
that.
so it
I don't
goes-
know.
Switching to the mission.
So that goes to the.
Yep.
I mean, that would go to all the plans that we have in
Sure.
motion,
But a mission is done by
And then
chief
the
operating
mission-
One
officer.
at a time, please.
and then the mission say. I mean, the message. If you go to the code actually lays out. It's a collection of
Yeah.
bylaws that regulates all of our community decisions. Matters like zoning and health and everything else. So I think we already have a lot in place. If you just want to do, if it's an important item, we could put in there just making sure that, just like I'll go back to the
Yeah.
code of conduct because we just did it, but very similar to the code of conduct. Like we want the select board to always, hey, take a look at it every 5 years or every
Mhm.
2 years, just to make sure we're on track and just keep it,
Well, why don't
So-
you two get together and craft a sentence or two that,
Well, Paul had a really, he could probably,
What about stating that in addition to requiring it, that it may be a phrase that says something to the effect of that, and the vision statement shall guide the policies of the town, or something like that, so that there's a reference to it being a entity that people refer to when they need broad guidance on something.
Yeah, let me read. This is the LCP's vision statement.
yeah, that's a guy right there.
The what piece?
Local.
The local comprehensive plan
Okay.
created a vision statement. In 2050, Harwich is a vibrant and sustainable community that honors its natural beauty, historic charm, and village character while meeting the needs of our residents for attainable housing to support economic and community growth. Our commitment to this vision is deeply rooted in the protection of water and natural resources, recognizing their intrinsic value to our community. Now, how do you create a mission that everything goes towards it? That can be interpreted 100 ways.
Yeah,
100 ways.
my point was that by putting in a phrase, I believe what Lou has said here to be correct, that you need something to cause people to at least refer or be knowledgeable or consider. And so maybe having some language in the charter dealing with the vision that basically states that. And I think if the select board said, what these folks have just prepared is excellent, then that becomes the vision statement. However, it would be understood through the charter that the vision statement that was adopted here on January 29th, 2026, is to now guide the future development as the committees and so forth establish policies, to take action. Is it in accordance with what is stated there in the vision statement? And if it isn't, then it should be recognized as being outside the scope.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
going-
well, right,
yeah.
theoretically,
I
you're
mean,
right.
we're
Yeah.
all
But
talking
you take
about.
any of those and say, okay, well, what we're doing here, this committee is doing this, does it meet that goal? Well, I don't think it meets that one, it might meet that one, but it doesn't meet the entire vision statement of the town. And that's where you get, and frankly, when we're looking at clarity, that is as unclear as can be. How do you create a policy that states everything that this town is gonna do, everything the select board does in policy, everything a committee does in policy, supports that
That
statement?
has to be, that's why it
Well,
has
that's
to
why
be
it has to
general.
be clear and precise, and if you think about 3 to 4 lines, maybe even just 2 to 3 sentences, once you take all these
Right.
ideas and you consolidate them,
That's 2
it's
sentences,
gonna
by
be
the way.
very,
That's 2 sentences.
yeah, it's gonna be
Didn't
very
the-
broad, yeah.
Didn't the Chamber of Commerce have, when they started the campaign
No,
10
they-
years ago?
no.
Hold on.
Totally.
About the villages, and they put out the signs, it was live, work, play, something like that. But they had
It
a,
was a marketing slogan. is what
but they had
The
like
warm
2
side-
lines.
The warm
which-
side of the Cape.
No,
It,
wasn't
it was marketing.
It was just fun.
So look at it from this perspective for a second. You have 5 select board members that you're going to ask, no matter what, to think through what they think the town should be every 5 years, every 3 years, whatever.
Mhm.
You're asking them to actually go through an exercise, which they really, I don't think, do now. And you're asking, that's a pretty big exercise. And when you talk about policy, that exercise forces policy. So you're actually accomplishing a heck of a lot. Not just a vision, not just glittering generalities. It becomes a working, living model for people to follow because of that. It's like you and I determining, well, what do we want to see in terms of appraisals? Here's my philosophy, and here's what we're guiding, and we can talk about it. And it gets away from day-to-day activity. It starts focusing on big pictures. So,
But a lot of that sits in the code.
could,
It does.
could,
That's what I'm saying.
it could.
Mm.
And you
I mean,
can
it's already
also,
there.
you
That's
can
what I'm
also
saying.
reverse it and say that the vision can then help to rewrite the code.
Mm.
You can, because if your vision is different, then you might want to change
Yeah.
things. You might want to say, maybe this form zoning that we're talking about makes some sense. Or you may say, maybe this form zoning that we're talking about makes no sense based on where we want to be. That's not, where's the guardrails?
Well, I don't think a vision statement really provides guardrails. It isn't really a mandate.
Agreed.
I'm not even convinced that we should address it in the charter at all. I remain very skeptical about that. I understand what you're saying, Lou, but a lot of what you're talking about is the policies that the select board should be dealing with, and I think to force them into a policy statement writ large, I just don't see that working really well. Not in this kind of a government.
Remind me, and pardon my ignorance, when LCP went before the select board last time, did they endorse it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I believe so.
Did they?
I was there.
Yeah,
Okay,
they did.
so
Go to
here's
too
the
many
point.
meetings.
I
Can't
think they,
remember.
In essence, they have already endorsed a vision statement. What I read, that's what they have done.
That's why that vision statement has to be the aspiring big picture.
It's strictly an
No
aspiration.
detail, no
right?
policing,
That felt more
no.
like a mission statement, because it had a lot of
Yeah,
to-dos,
its
to-dos,
objectives.
to-dos,
There were
to-dos.
I don't
Two
remember,
sentences.
I don't remember if they endorsed it, because they really had just received it in its entirety. And they, I would think, would have wanted to vet it before they pass it on to the town meeting. It's their LCP.
Mhm.
And it's going to be their article, and I, for some reason, I have a sense that it hasn't been, accepted as written yet, but I could be wrong about that.
I don't know, and
Yeah.
again, I say, pardon my ignorance,
It's a
I'm not.
good question.
Brandon, does Brewster put theirs, is it right on their website when you open up
If
the
you
website?
on your phone, it comes up right away. If not, you have to go in and search for it. Some towns, like even our town, we used to have, about Harwich, and we had that 3-paragraph. That's hard to find now because of the new. But like Brewster is a seaside community that respects its historic character and small town culture, protects its resources, and pursues environmental stewardship. So they're laying out in just 3 sentences that kind of detail. And then what's the objective or what's the aspiration is to create a welcoming place. So it's really just a vision statement. I agree.
Are
I
they
agree
calling it a vision statement?
They have,
Yeah.
in their, if you look in their website,
I love their website.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
it
I
starts
agree.
with community, our community, vision statement, and then the mission
Yeah,
statement. Mission statement is 1 sentence.
I think it's nice to have on
Does
the
it
list.
say,
That's
get
why.
the stuff done?
Well,
I agree. I don't think
guess
it-
my
yeah.
real question is that mandated by charter that they have those things?
Good question. I don't know. I wasn't
know that.
responsible for Brewster. But, and when
Yeah.
here's the mission statement. You read the vision. To provide excellent public services, responsive government, and infrastructure for health, safety, recreation, economic opportunities through fiscally and environmentally sustainable practices that integrate public engagement. That's their mission statement from their vision statement.
Correct.
They have both. But I agree. I don't think we need to do anything. The only reason why I did what I did was just I wanted to talk to what Lou proposed
Mm.
and if it was viable or not to do. But I don't think we need to do anything. I think it would be nice to have it on the website, and that's why if we do put it in the charter, I think it would be just where's it going to live, who's going to draft it, and then I think the housing production plan, the local comprehensive plan. There's a lot of information in there, and that's doing a lot of the talking. I don't think we need to create anything. I'm more leaning towards,
I'm leaning to your thought as well. That
Sorry, Lou.
Can I ask a
but I do
question?
like it. I do like the
Yeah,
fact that
I think
it
it's
is
a good thing
inspiring too.
to have.
Yeah.
And I would say that if we, if we're at the end of the day giving a little report to the selectmen, we might just mention to them that this would be a great thing to have front and center on a website.
Mhm.
That's something they should put together.
and whether they're doing it or they are supporting
Yeah,
what has already been done.
yeah.
And if the select board goes in a different direction, you can always bring them back to, hey, the housing production plan was approved by you. It went to town meeting. The state approved it. Like that's a real document.
I hope
That's
so.
a serious document. So-
Mostly they get done and then they go sit on a dusty shelf for the next 10 years until
But
we,
to everyone has said, though, the entire process of that says this cannot happen. That LCP group
we
is saying,
said that the last time too.
oh, well, it's then, again, whose responsibility, who's not doing their job?
But it's
So-
going to keep on coming up because we have all these. We have all these housing developments that are
Mm-hmm.
happening. Affordable Housing Trust and other local developers. We're going to be going back to that document, and I think it's going to be used a lot more in the next 5 years.
That's good to hear. And I think the reason we're even talking about all this, Lou, was because there was seemingly a lot of frustration in town amongst the public about what direction the town was going in. And that's why,
And so
Right.
in 8 years, we still might have the problem.
but I think the challenge with that is honestly, I mean, Brewster's thing is great, but it doesn't solve
Well,
the
theoretically-
problem.
Yeah, it doesn't solve the problem. It's just
Yeah.
nice. That's it.
Nice.
Theoretical, the local.
Yeah.
It gets people thinking.
It does get people thinking, and it probably puts the select board on, I mean, if we were to say every 2 years, the select board must, here's just something to think about, the select board must reaffirm the housing, the LC,
Local
P-
comprehensive plan.
the local, to review them, you
Right.
know, then,
I think that's
Is-
appropriate. And I think we should agree on the value of having in the charter this provision
Hmm.
that would establish, and if the select board wants to embrace the language, they would so state that. That will become, when they establish the policy or the vision for the first effort here, that they can say, we'll use the language from the comprehensive plan. And until that's proven to be outdated or ineffective or whatever, it remains in place. I don't see that there's an issue with the fact that they adopt the comprehensive plan. And I would say that if at the future time, when the charter gets passed, hopefully, and the charter requires them to establish a vision statement, they'll say, please refer to the comprehensive plan language, and that becomes the town vision.
No, and the
I
nice
think it
thing
works
about, yeah, the
hand
nice
in
thing
glove.
about,
I don't think there's an
Yeah.
issue that they've said something and the select board embracing the vision. Nobody's requiring them to have a vision at this point. The policy, the charter would establish the requirement for the board to so adopt a policy.
and the nice thing is if new people are brought on the select board, that consensus needs to happen again, right? I mean, and then everybody's on the same page, and then the public has a better
Yeah.
grasp of what's going on, and maybe confidence, and
Well,
I don't think it does damage, and I think it
doesn't do damage.
conceivably could be helpful.
yeah, I'm with you.
Would not be the hill I would die on either way.
Same here.
If you all think
Yeah.
it's important, and you can come up with the language, I like Judith's idea, if you're going to do it, of every 2 years, because that keeps it fresh in their minds. 5
Yeah,
years is
that's
just
fine.
like,
Yeah,
I think we
Right.
should establish a requirement for its review at least, or reaffirmation.
well, and every 2 years is when you're most likely to start to see some turnover on your board. You could have entirely new boards in the
Yeah.
course of
Right.
5 years who never heard of
You
the
have to be
vision.
careful, you can't change it at the select board, and your comprehensive plan is still out there, and housing production plan's out there with a different mission. So it gets a
Say
little,
that again?
so if the select board did it every 2 years,
Yeah.
you still have other plans that have to be modified. Let's say if they drastically changed it.
Well,
Unless it's that-
that's a different discussion.
Yeah, it's a
and
different
that's
discussion.
That's a big what if. I still think if you're going to do it at all, you need to make it a lot more regular than every 5 years. I think it needs to happen, I mean, even annually, review and affirm or modify it.
When's the local comprehensive plan? Is that every
10
10?
years.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
That's why it's,
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, yeah, I
once
don't
a
think you
year,
can
And our
tie
housing
them.
production
every
plan's off by a couple
October
of years,
1st or
so.
something.
I don't think you can tie them
Yeah.
together, and I don't know what happens if you don't strictly follow the local comprehensive plan, because nothing's ever happened to anybody who hasn't
Right.
followed it in
Right.
the past.
Well, that's because they're vision statements.
Well, the whole thing is aspirational.
You
Well,
don't have to follow it.
the whole thing is aspirational.
well, okay,
It's not a bylaw, it's not a,
Right.
it's not a regulation, it's a dream.
Well, maybe we should start by just getting it approved first.
Getting what?
I guess the last local comprehensive plan, has it even been approved?
No.
The last one we did, not the one right now.
I don't know at this point.
I think it
the
wasn't.
last one was not approved by town meeting?
I think there was some issue, I don't remember
Well,
correctly.
the one that's just been done,
No, the one prior that we were
well,
living
the one
under
prior
hadn't been
doesn't,
approved based on something I read from the commission, so.
that's kind of irrelevant at this point anyhow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it shows how unimportant it is. If something isn't even approved and you write it, it just makes the point even more.
Well, we spent $250,000 on this thing, so I hope it's used, because I'd hate to see that just.
So
sit
do
on-
I, because, my wife spent 2 years on that.
Mhm.
And a lot of meetings, and a lot of discussion, a lot of focus groups. There was a lot of involvement by this community on that. Couple things.
I think that's what's different from the last time around, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very.
Stand by.
It was very good.
So
We've got, let me finish.
One at
please.
a time.
Is, we've got 6 of us here tonight. 3 feel one way, 3 feel the other way. How are people gonna feel if this goes to the town for vote? If we, as the Charter Commission right now, can't come to consensus on
I
this?
think we are at a consensus.
I don't think we
It's
are.
hard to-
I don't think we
Well,
are.
To request that the
I don't-
select
I don't-
board review it once a year? and-
Not in the charter.
I guess,
I don't believe it's in the
I
charter.
think we're
And here's-
talking
here's
about
the- I
putting it
was-
in the
I-
One
charter.
at a
sorry,
time,
I was
one
still
at a time.
talking.
Aren't we?
For
Sorry.
years, each year in January, the select board would meet to create their goals for the community for the year. Many, did you do it when you were on?
Richard, This was 30 years ago. What do you want from me?
But in the last 10 years, that's an exercise that they have been doing. Goals and objectives for the select board and the community. Basically doing a vision
Well,
statement.
that's not a vision statement.
Well, it is a quasi-vision statement.
Well,
But they were trying to come up with where they feel the town should be going as the executive branch of this community.
Okay.
To be honest with you, they haven't done it well.
Yeah, okay.
And I just, because of what I've seen in the changeover in the select board in the last 10 years, and it's not a consensus of a select board. It comes down to a vote. And if it comes down to a vote of 3-2, is that a consensus of a vision? No, I don't think so at all. But that's how they operate. That's how they establish policy. And if they're doing a vision, that's how they're gonna establish a vision, is by a vote of the board.
I meant consensus.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, you had mentioned earlier
Yeah.
that when it goes to the select board, they will come to consensus on a vision. And to be honest with you, I don't think they will.
Richard, I'm gonna correct you on only one thing.
Sure.
We don't have to worry at this time about this document being voted on and what the public will feel, because the public is going to have an opportunity to tell us what they feel before it gets to that step. So maybe that's, if we,
I
we
appreciate.
have to
your-
take that into point.
I appreciate your confidence.
A little mercy, guys. I really, if you could just one at a time.
Here's the thing, we will have a meeting, like we had our first meeting with 2 people here. Maybe we'll get 50 people there at a public hearing about this document. There are gonna be 2,000 to 2,500 who will vote on it. We're not gonna have enough input from the community on a public hearing to really shape this document. We're gonna have a public hearing, see what people have to say. We might make a change or 2 here or there, but when it goes to the voting public, it's 2,000 to 2,500 people who will vote on this. The majority, to be honest with you, will not have enough information, and they're gonna go in and say, oh, yes or no, should I do it or not? That's the way things happen right now.
Well, maybe we need
Rich.
to work on outreach.
Well,
A comment.
Sure.
Since I sat in this chair for the last, whatever it is, 8 months on this, I'm worried about every time we get into somewhat, let's say, controversial, or when there's issues of debate,
Lack of consensus.
lack of consensus, I worry that this magnifies the same lack of consensus, and as we add on more changes to the charter, I say to people, every time we do that, we lose 20 or 30 votes. Somebody out there is gonna vote against it because they don't like this bit, they don't like this bit. And every time we make a change, I think we lose votes, I don't think we gain votes. So we have to come to some sense in our deliberations that to try to revamp things too greatly sinks the boat.
I agree.
But saying that, I can't believe that the statement of requiring the select board periodically to create a vision for the town is that straw that breaks the camel's back. This is not rocket concerning.
Rocket
It's not.
surgery.
It's not a major issue. It's something I feel that's appropriate. I think it will be helpful. I don't feel it's damaging to the eventual approval of the charter. I think there are many other things that we've been talking about that raise that concern that I've been bothered by, where we are looking to maybe do justifiably things that need to be addressed, but I worry about the extent of the revamping as being kind of enough to sink the whole effort. But I don't see this as a
no,
as
it
that
wouldn't.
level of
I
concern.
agree with
Yeah,
that.
no, I don't think it endangers the charter in any way.
No, I honestly don't
There's an
either, Paul.
interesting, just as you're talking though, Paul, it sort of occurred to me that one of the things that might be a positive about having a mandated discussion every 2 years about the vision, as these boards change, is it will require the individual select board members to express exactly what their viewpoint is for all the world to see.
Yes.
And that's not a bad
That
thing,
wouldn't, no,
That's a
exactly.
great idea.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
Richard.
You put it very well. I think that's a great point. And I like that, and I think if we're gonna do it, and again, I'm not gonna die on this hill for this one, but I want it done no longer than every 2 years.
I agree with that.
And I think
100%.
it has to, it's gotta be in such a way that they do, that they, as a select board.
Have to go through this exercise once every
Exactly.
2 years.
And to be honest with you, vision statements come from strategic planning. It's not from, let's have a meeting and discuss the vision.
That's right.
And that's for them to do it correctly. Will they go through the process? You've run strategic planning events. I've been through hundreds of them, and it's a process. And it's not a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour process to do it. And for them to do it, we can put it in. Are they gonna do it every 2 years?
Oh, well, then there's compliance.
Send
It
them
gets
to the
done.
doghouse.
And I agree with Paul and everything that's said. I think if this went to a public forum, this would be like, oh, sounds great, what's next?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this would be,
I
and then,
think-
answer Lou's question real quick,
Yeah.
the last the last LCP was adopted May 2011.
Okay,
That's what the town planner has on their website.
yeah.
I don't know if there's other recent information, but it says that's when it was
A
adopted.
little out of date.
So, can we get a consensus then to?
Well, it seems,
I wanna see something in writing, whether it's our
Yeah.
consultants doing or us doing it.
Not the language of the vision, you wanna see a draft.
Whatever,
Same
whatever
thing
we're
on-
gonna put in the charter,
We'll have
for
it
a
for you
vision.
next week.
good, then we can rip it apart. Play with it.
So
My
who's
whole
gonna
list-
have-
seriously though, I'm not gonna waver from every 2 years. I would not approve
I'd
it
go for
5
every
years.
year.
I'd go for every
You know,
year.
what
It
else?
kinda makes sense.
I would want to run on what I thought should be in it. I would, if running for office, it has that impact.
you're not running.
No, never.
Are we still thinking about just 3 or 4 sentences?
Yeah, or less.
All right, I think,
I agree.
I think there isn't
I think
like
we're good.
a super strong feeling against it. There's a mild consensus around one side of the table, maybe a stronger feeling on the other side. So let's get some language
Mhm.
and see what, I mean, we can,
And I don't care if you guys put it together. I would love to see the consultants and love to hear their input. By the way, while we're on that topic,
Can we do both?
we can
that's
do
fine. I
both.
don't
Only
care.
because, okay.
The
Well,
more
we
the
will
merrier.
have the consultant with us next week.
They are coming. That's true. They are coming next week.
Yeah, I will fill you all in on my
thank you.
conversation with them later.
Coming
And,
here
and,
or
and where,
there?
where does it
I
live?
think probably there, but
Can I ask a question? Where would the mission statement or so vision statement live?
Hmm.
Is it on the town website? Where is it?
Well, if it,
Because we're going to mention it in charter, but there's going to be no bylaw to break down how it's created. So where does it live?
Brewster has it under about our community.
Put it right on
So
the
we put it, yeah.
website.
Front and center.
So
Welcome
and
to
that should be
Harwich.
what first appears to people on our website just by
Area,
default.
too.
And it's not. I mean, finding things on the
That's
website,
their default.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
It's beautiful.
It's a,
That's Brewster?
Yeah.
that's their
Brewster-
home.
Brewster-
That's their homepage.
Brewster also,
And
the
it
last
has
time,
all the tabs throughout,
Yeah.
and it's
you
you know
can tab the
our
town
community
meeting by
boards and
article.
committees, town
Nice.
departments. I don't know.
I think Chatham.
I think we
is
should
their-
just spend some money on a new
Their
one.
website.
Well, we just had an upgrade,
I
you know.
understand, but I can't, I tried to find stuff today.
No, it's impossible.
This is government websites by Civic Plus. That's the company that did this.
That's what ours is, isn't it?
Is it really?
I think so. I don't know why there's this,
Well, our job isn't,
Anyway, well,
ours isn't to
that's-
decide
it's
about
the-
websites.
the
maybe they
navigation
just chose a
site.
different template.
that's okay.
So can I read what I've got real quick?
Pardon?
Can I read what I have real quick, just to get a sense?
Yeah.
The select board shall create and approve a vision statement, which shall be placed on the town website. The vision statement shall guide the policy of the town and to be revised every 2 years. Something to that phrasing?
Sounds
Something
really
along
good.
that line.
Sounds-
But let the consultants figure it out. Kind of like we did for the code of conduct. We came with some kind of,
Is this an AI deal?
I'm sorry?
Was that an AI?
No, it's
That's his brain.
It's me doing my homework.
Well,
That's
you're
fine.
our AI guy.
As long as they can
Luke
wrap
keeps me
their,
busy, put it that
as long
way.
as they can wrap their head
Come
around
on,
where
no, I
we're going.
don't.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Good.
Okay,
What else
next,
have you got for
next
us, Madam
subject.
Chair?
Well, you want, this is Linda's, this is what she left me with, so I have no choice here.
This is moving, this
Okay.
is good.
So it's good.
Survey of residents. Do we do one? Do we not? Who wants to write it? How do we proceed?
What was the question?
Survey of
Survey of
residents.
residents.
I thought we were gonna leave that with the consultants to
Yeah.
come up with, like, is it 3 questions, is it
That-
10,
yeah.
is it 20?
I don't
Um,
know if it's been put before the consultants. It wasn't
Yeah.
on my list of to-do, so I guess we'll just slide right past that one.
It'd be nice to know what the,
Yeah, I would like to have a discussion with them
Okay.
about the
I think it's there.
validity of a survey and, you
I don't
know,
wanna get into
response
drafting
rates.
questions.
Well, it's just, it's,
Because there were some surveys,
we did one from the Council on Aging. We had a 26%
LCD.
return rate,
That's
which was
good.
that's
phenomenal.
high.
that's great.
Phenomenal. And most of them, you're gonna get less than a 5% return rate.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's my concern, is, 50 people at a meeting and 2,500 people voting, you get a response of 50 people, and it's been sent out to 12,000. So I'd like to hear what they have to say before we
Yeah.
discuss.
Agreed.
Okay, well, that was easy.
What do you got next?
Chapter 4. Chapter 7, Section 4, wastewater. This transitional language for the wastewater, and possibly sewer department, or whatever we're going to wind up calling it.
You see,
Um,
Chapter 4, that was
It's
What section?
chapter 10, section 4.
chapter 10.
And,
On page
We're talking the town administrator?
no, we're talking water,
28,
wastewater.
page
That's
28,
not chapter
That's
four.
10,
page
10-4,
28,
right?
Chapter 10, 4.
Yeah, 10-4.
section,
4.
page 28, Paul.
28.
Yeah.
Where did I hear chapter 4?
No, I misspoke, I'm sorry, Paul.
Section 4.
Don't
I
put it,
would-
don't
I
put
thought
it in
we
my
tossed this
evaluation,
out.
please. Huh?
Right.
We removed this.
Well, the question was, do we, should we, shall we? And my only suggestion would be going through it, that there's one paragraph there that possibly maybe should be
Maintain.
maintained. And that was 10.4.2.
Yeah.
Only reword it, because we don't need to say as the effective date of the amendment, because it's already
Right,
in there.
It's already done.
So I would just, my suggestion would be to keep it and just rejigger the language to give them all that authority that is in there without having to refer back to an amendment, which is now part of the whole of the charter. Does that make sense?
So, what are these things that we're retaining? 10.4.3?
No, 10.4.2 only.
10.4.2 only?
And the goal was to get them out
Okay.
of additional provisions.
Yeah,
that
they
was the
don't
issue.
need all the transitional stuff, but 10.4.2 is,
And I don't see any need, we remove these end sections, 3 and 4.
right,
Mhm.
2 and
Yeah.
3, they're out,
yeah,
right?
yep,
Okay.
yep, I mean, that's,
So what are we
That's the
keeping?
end, are we
it's
done?
10.4.2, I think, and we just reword
And we'll
it
reword getting rid of the as the
as
effective
amended,
date.
yeah.
That's the last page, so
It
are
just-
we done
it-
with
it-
our work?
No, not quite.
It's
So
8
what if-
o'clock.
Paul, behave.
Did you have a Red Bull tonight?
Something.
I've gotta get home and eat, I'm hungry.
Oh,
Oh, he's a hungry boy.
Who's got a
Good
Snickers?
Who's got a
excuse, I
Snickers
like
for
it.
it, right?
You
nobody.
could always recuse yourself.
All right.
Items 4 and 5.
These-
We don't have too much left here. I mean,
Okay.
I want to go
Tonight can
home
be quick.
too. It's
By
cold.
the way, Madam Chair, I'd report that Subcommittee on Finance, to your left, has been meeting and will conclude our meeting next week with a final meeting of the subcommittee and report to the full commission
Okay.
on our findings
Okay.
next week.
Well, maybe, I don't
Or
know.
maybe the following.
I would
week.
say on finance, plan on the 11th.
11th,
Because we have former members of select boards and
Oh, that's
selectmen
right, okay.
coming next week, and we also have
Have this-
we also have the consultants next week, and I think that's the
Okay,
meeting right
that's even
there.
better.
So we'll say 2/11. Okay, the only thing I would report on my conversation with our consultant, which went well. I did suggest to them that the compliance language they gave us didn't seem to take into account what we had been talking about. And that, we were looking for, where are my notes? I've lost them. Oh, well. And I think did come to understanding. I sent them, also sent Anthony the draft copy of what John and I have been working on, to show them what we've been talking about for language with the basically 3 different components on the same committee. You know, he got it. So that's, I think we're pretty well squared away on that.
Okay.
Also, he has promised a red line copy by the 5th, and he will be meeting with us on the 5th. Linda had suggested that they, you know, or somebody, that they came to, was it 2 meetings a month, 2 meetings a month? And I was thinking about that and did the math, and that would be way more than we're contracted with them for. So that's something that's got to just, I think, be worked out as needed.
But is once a month within the contract?
Yes,
I would like to see them once a month.
they are watching the meetings.
It's great, but we're not interacting.
Yeah,
And if within the contract boundaries, if we can have them here, whether it's at Zoom or here, once a month, I would appreciate that.
yeah, and, you know, I said to him that, but it was a good conversation. It was probably about a half an hour, and it wasn't, you know, you are terrible people kind of conversation, because that's not the way to get people's attention.
That's a plus.
But, you know, I pointed out, he, you know, said this idea that, he said, well, 2 towns have it, and they hardly ever use it. And I said, well, that's kind of the point. Because if you have it as a deterrent, you want it to never be used. That would be an ideal situation.
Yeah.
And plus the whole idea of having it a combination committee, because we still will need a bylaw charter review in there. And if the compliance would be the least of what they do, hopefully, and the rest of it is ongoing, and they would be meeting regularly anyway. So that's fine.
I think just having in the text is enough of a
it's
control factor.
Yeah.
People see it and they focus on it.
Yeah. Lou?
Madam Chair, Sandy, could you send out what you sent to them? That way we can prepare for next week or whatever they come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also suggested that in his future reports that he refer to a town administrator rather than a town manager. Because that's all through his report, and I don't want that.
Following us.
Yeah, yeah, so that's sort of the beginning and the end of that, and again, next week we know of at least 2 selectmen, select board, 1 of each, that want to attend. Lou asked if had gotten a mail from Dana, who's away for the winter, wanted to know if he could participate remotely. I got a hold of Emily and got the credentials, and I guess Linda already had them, but I don't have them, so they'll be on the agenda for people who want to attend remotely.
Who was coming from the select board? Previous members?
Dana,
Yeah.
and I understand Mary Anderson is planning to come. So I don't know who
One
else.
thing, Madam Chair, I talked with the town moderator the other day. Questions about the town meeting references in here and so forth, and based on the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about fall, spring meetings and everything. He would like to attend, so I kind of thought,
Sure.
can we figure a date and I can say to him so he can...
Set up a date with the town moderator, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, I'll be happy to confer with him in terms of what date, but I thought maybe if you could tell me what date works best for this commission, because
Well,
I don't know what things we've got in the
We've got a
mill
lot on
here.
the plate for a couple of
We've
meetings.
got a couple of weeks, and Linda
Yeah.
will be back for the next meeting anyway, and I think that's something she probably would be.
So maybe the end of this month, I could
Yeah.
mention?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he can come anytime he wants to,
Yeah,
but
I
if we
know,
want to
but
set aside a block
from
of
his-
time just
yeah.
for him, that would be great, because I
Yeah,
think,
he's
you
got
know,
some good ideas.
he's been around for a little while.
And
Too
say we
long.
don't have any other,
I tried to set a precedent of 2 or 3 terms, and I didn't do a good job of it.
Oh, you didn't? You
He's
said,
been there for 25 terms.
Wow.
well, not 25 terms.
You know,
Yeah.
They're 3-year
Used to
terms.
be a 2-year term.
Well, it's going to be, I
He
think
is
this
old.
next town meeting will be his 50th.
He's been there 50 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
50 years this spring, I think is.
When was the last time you did it?
I tried to set a precedent of of a limited
Who was before you, Alan?
Alan
Was before you?
before me.
Luke.
Could we would it be a good idea
He
to
was there
invite
forever,
Emily,
but not as long
the
as
town
Mike.
clerk?
Oh, yeah,
She's dealing with all this.
absolutely.
Yeah, so let's invite her specifically
Yeah.
when the moderator comes.
Okay, so we want dates with them.
Well, that'd be good. That would be a good suggestion.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
Emily and,
What
yeah.
was the suggestion?
And I,
Having Emily come to
Oh,
all of
yeah.
our meetings.
Well-
our new town administrator hopefully will land somewhere around mid-March. So probably looking at maybe April to have a conversation, maybe a month in to have a conversation with him about,
Yeah, can we give him a little
Were you
space
there?
before he has to come in and?
well, you know, they're
Meet this
talking,
crowd.
when you listen to the meetings, you realize that they're coordinating with him all the time at
Oh,
this
yeah, no, I get it.
So, and he's kind of easing, I think, on his end, at the other end of his,
Tony's done relatively soon.
yeah. We're gonna probably have about a 4-week gap.
Yeah, I just, he
It's-
invited me to a meeting for one of my committees and
Uh-huh.
said, good luck, I won't be there. I was like, that's in 2 weeks.
Well, he's got, you know, I think it'll work out. I think there are plans, but
We're in a public meeting and I think he's done a wonderful job.
he's done a fabulous
I
job.
think he was the right man for the job. He has set a standard,
Mhm,
I believe, for a town administrator to come afterwards, in terms of his empathy, in terms of his communication skills, not just with the select board, but with the staff here in town. And the committees that I deal with and the staff, which,
And I might add the public.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could keep him, but I think we've got a winner coming on board, so I
No, I
think
think
we'll be,
we'll
I
And we'll
think we'll
have
be
plenty of
good.
white space in between.
And if it just keeps snowing, town hall will be closed for a
Anyway,
month, right?
No, but he just, it was nice to be able to do it on record. He did a good
Yeah.
job.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he did. We got a gift. And he
Right man.
sacrificed some retirement on our behalf.
Oh, I know
and,
that.
That's
Yeah.
huge. That's huge. Anybody else have anything they want to?
I'm gonna tell Mike then the 26th, okay, the fit date for that final Thursday in
Write
February.
this down.
Let's just verify
I'll get
that.
from Linda, don't tell
Yeah.
me what to do.
Her committee, wait a minute, no. It wasn't Paul, it was the committee telling her what
Okay.
to do. It was the
That's
committee.
right.
I don't.
We got
think-
you back, Paul.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, so February 26th, you want the town
February
moderator.
26th.
Okay, anybody else have any suggestions for others that we should,
No, just Emily with him, that, if
I
she
think
could
that's
come,
good.
yeah.
oh, at the same time?
Yes.
Ah.
I think that's
I-
good.
He runs town meetings, she's responsible for a huge part of that,
Yeah.
and it would make sense for
Timing,
both
so
of them to
forth,
hear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's probably still here, we can tell her on the way out. Can you do the 26th?
Okay, that sounds, yeah, good.
Great.
All right. What are you umming about?
No, I was just trying to see if there's anything else on this town meeting issue. I thought there was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I don't see it, so I'll move we adjourn.
I will second
Second,
that.
oh, yeah,
In
please.
the
Seconded,
alternate.
I
all
will
in
thank you for
favor?
that.
Wow.
Good.
7:23.
My compliments to
I
the
mean-
chair.
I know, right?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, when I left the house, my goal was to get it over with by 7:30.
You
It's
did it.
cold out there, man.